All right. Okay. So my name is Nienke. I do live in the Netherlands. I lived abroad in the UK, and I've been teaching in the UK as well on a professional speakers academy. Just being a speaker coach now hasn't been my profession because with a handicapped mum, I ended up in nursing because I realized it's really rewarding if you look after someone else. So I ended up in nursing, and I've been in nursing for 25 years. I'm a mom of two, and they're already out of the house. So, I hit the big five already. So my children are out of the house. And in 2008, after I've done my MBA, and I was at that time in a leading position in healthcare, I realized I didn't want to deal with bossy bosses any longer. So I decided to become my own boss. And with my MBA in the pocket, I thought I knew everything about businesses. And I had been just blind for one major thing going on already at that time in the world. It's called financial crisis. I was so occupied with just fighting and battling my boss that I forgot completely that it wasn't really a good thing to become a consultant in November 2008, I can tell you. So I've been struggling and I've been finding my way. I skilled myself in entrepreneurship because I realized, having an MBA had nothing to do with running your own business, just having a good view on other businesses, but not for yourself. So I skilled myself in entrepreneurship. And this is my third business. And in 2011, I realized transferring knowledge and people getting what you're saying is very important to me. So at that time, I was asked to develop a whole training for a franchise company as a startup. So they needed a program about entrepreneurship. They needed a program for to become an autism coach. So to help people with autism to find guidance in their life. It didn't exist. So it was completely new. So I wrote the training. I gave the training for several years until my own daughter was diagnosed with autism. And then I was 24/7 in autism and I just escaped. But transferring knowledge and just waking people up so they can speak with impact, that was my biggest passion. So I created my third business, and this is what I do now. It's called Presentation Master. And if I aim for something, I want the best of the best. So I've been traveling around the world. I work with the same people who work with Tony Blair and Bill Clinton. I've been working with voice coaches, program coaches, everything. And what I discovered is that you get a lot of knowledge, but it's like a shot of seminar. You get a bit of training and then you're out in the open and nothing else you can do. Just figure it out yourself. So if it doesn't exist a method for speakers, what really sticks? Well, I make it myself. So yes, I wrote my book, The Speaker Success Solution. I developed my own speaker method that sticks. And that's exactly what I'm going to do today with you, because I don't do any advertisements or whatever. I only work referral based. And after a while, politicians appeared in my life, and they wanted to speak authentic, clear, and effective. So that's what I started to do, and I worked with them and helped them, and that's how I got involved in politics, and that's why Andrea found me. And Andrea and I are together in the Global Institute for Extraordinary Women, and that's how we see each other. So when she first had her Slovak organization for education in politics, I really sort of said, okay, this is good. I ended up in the advisory board, and then she created this. So that's really great to see that it's just spreading out a new whole layer of politicians who can come from a different place, from consciousness, and use their impact into the world. And what I will do today with you is just searching for your unique voice in politics. That's why you have me here. So, I'm 52 years old. I'm remarried, 2 kids and a dog, and I live in the Netherlands near the German border, and I'm happy to be here. Any questions for me? Just fire. Any questions? Everything clear? Any comment? Hi, Luca. Good to have you on board.
Hi, everyone. I'm happy to see you. Hi, Nienke.
Already started on Andrea's account. So I don't know.
Sure.
Trying to get in. I saw something popping up, but I don't know if you can go in.
I'm on my private account now. I by mistake logged by her account, so I immediately logged out.
Okay, it was you. I only could see someone is trying to log in.
Oh, sorry for that.
That's fine. It's totally fine. I'm here. I already started. So,
perfect.
Questions, comments, my dear.
One quick observation. You told that you did MBA and then you were into business. So I mean, the realization which you had that MBA had nothing to do with your, businesses.
Well, to set up your own business, if you do your MBA, you're not set up. Well, at least in my country, you're not set up to set up your own business. You have to look at other businesses. Entrepreneurship is something totally different than what you learn in MBA. That's my experience.
That's the part of the wisdom which you attained after doing MBA only. So I mean, interesting journey of your life, So you have done nursing, then you moved to MBA, then you are here with us, So quite interesting. And the way you are saying that you are helping politicians to communicate effective. So in today's era, it's mostly about effective communication, either through Twitter or through press or some other channel. It may be video version or through audio version or through Twitter and some other channels which are available there. So I'm looking forward to learn from you and all the peers which I have.
And I also discovered working with the politicians, just finding an authentic voice, so not copycatting everyone else. Just find your own true voice. It's not always easy because from the outside, people try to box you in a lot.
Thank you.
That's what I experienced. Saklamir is also joining us. Hi, can you just show up on camera? Then we can see your lovely face, my dear.
Hi, Vladimira.
Hello, everyone. I'm going to a TV show, so I'm gonna be with you just very briefly, for about 20 minutes or so. And I'm just gonna listen because I am in a public space, so I cannot really partake. Is that okay?
That's perfect. Just listen in as long as you can. And it's good to know you're there with us. So that's good. So, lovely, lovely. Any other comments or questions for me? And how do you pronounce your name? Andre?
Yes, that's correct. That's Andre. I don't really have a question. It's a pleasure to meet you and to follow this session. So I'm looking forward for the fruitful discussion and good findings. I'm very excited about it.
Perfect. Perfect. Christina, you've seen already a bit from me. We've spoken one-to-one. Just happened to be so we spoke one-to-one as well. Anything else? Anything new you discovered from me?
The thematic. Hi, Nienke. The thematic with the autism, the kids with the autism, that would interest me. Maybe we can talk sometime about it. Yeah, and I'm happy to finally get the mentoring with you.
Yeah,
and it's great for me.
Yeah, and just for your perspective, as well, my father, as my brother, have severe autism in the Asperger aspect range. My ex-husband and my daughter do have another range where they are affected with. And I can honestly say, being structured and being clear was a clear gift from my daughter why she showed up in my life, because everything vaguely will make her very insecure and unsafe. So I can be quite Dutch direct and I can give you some structure, but just because I know if there is unclarity, going to live their own life, as they say here in Dutch. So I'm very grateful for the groundedness my daughter gave me, because I'm a creator, so I'll create everything la 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 up there. And if you have a daughter with autism, you need to just slim it down and just go down to earth. So that's the whole thing. So if there aren't any more questions, burning other things, I will dive into individual coaching with you. Look, go ahead.
May I just, before you dive into that, I would just like to tell you everyone that Nienke is an amazing coach and she's an amazing businesswoman. And I just want to really highly encourage you to use the time you have tonight with her, because she can do really miracles in terms of really how to express what matters to you. And as you all here are leaders with a big aim in your areas, I really think you can get a lot of tonight with Nienke. And I know it because I have the pleasure and privilege to work with her inside the academy and also inside GFU. And I can really tell you she can do miracles. So just wanted to highly encourage you to use every minute tonight. And Nienke, really thankful for you being with us tonight.
I'm very happy. And just for your perspective, Catherine Longy has been in the academy as well. She knows me already for nearly 2 years. And when she started as a participant here in the group, she said, oh, actually, Nienke, I'm quite nervous because I'm never coached by you. Oh, dear. She's really nervous. So don't be nervous, because I have one big mission: to be at service, to give you voice. So I will just guide you along. And if you're willing to be with me and I guide you along and you just go through the process, then the miracles will happen. I can't work, and I don't see it in your faces, I can't really give the most if I work with uncoachable, stubborn people. So you have your free choice to be here. So I don't see that in your faces. Usually I see already like this all the time. So, I haven't seen that. I only see beautiful smiles. So let's go ahead. Who would like to start? And I can take on some coaching for you. Who would like to start?
Start with me then.
Yes, I will start with you. And it's only 4 questions, so it's really, really, really easy. So my first question to you is, why are you in politics?
So, I mean, it's a difficult question, and it's an easy question also.
Give it a shot.
Yeah.
Nothing is right, nothing is wrong, by the way.
Yeah,
So
definitely. Thank you. So, why I am in politics? So, politics, I think, is the most effective tool to bring socio-economic change in my country or in any part of the world. So I think being in politics, I can become a change agent. I can also contribute to the growth story of my country. That's why.
What is your country?
I'm from India, New Delhi. I'm presently in New Delhi. So I'm working as a policy analyst. I'm helping members of parliament with legislation, with execution also. So I find myself mostly in advisory role. Someone like a bureaucrat who is there to advise members of parliament or the government what to do, what policies to bring, all such things. So I'm really happy, and it's fun for me to be part of those kind of work, and I really enjoy it. That's why I'm in politics, and I intend to take it further. Maybe one day I can become a politician, effective politician, and take my own decision for the welfare of the country in general, and carry forward the legacy of my motherland. Thank you.
So what I hear you say is, that through the politics, you can be a change agent.
Yes.
And you are in politics because that is your vehicle for change.
Definitely. Yes.
So, just to summarize it, I would just frame it like this. And you gave already a glimpse to the other question. What you're aiming for is to become active yourself as a politician. So, Imagine, just fast forward it. You are a politician. What are you aiming for then?
If I am a politician, so suppose if I'm an advisory role, sometimes whatever advice I have given or whatever, background research or notes which I have given to a member of parliament or someone, a politician, so he or she, they may accept it or they may reject it. So my idea of being a politician is taking carry forward whatever decision is being made. So that has to be on the lines of more evidence, taking more people into account and listening from them what is the solution of this particular problem. So I want to become a consensus based leader
Okay.
in politics.
So how would you all look like if you are there? Because what you describe is it's quite with a bit of a distance, hypothetical. But I want to hear your passion, what you're aiming for. So if I'm there, it will never or will always or, well, what is your drive? There you are in front of the parliament as a politician. Do you want to be recognized for? What are you standing for?
So I come from a state of India, which is, where human indicators are very poor. So literacy rate is almost half. Uh, Infant mortality rate is 40. Maternal mortality rate is also high. So coming from such a background, I really want to improve these scenario. So taking forward whatever uh, my heartfelt experience is, I can work on those areas and I can become a voice in parliament and raise those issues and find a solution to those issues. So
Perfect.
this is how I'm looking in
Perfect.
future. Yeah, thank you.
Perfect. And what was the seed? Where was it seeded that you want to become active?
What areas?
When I can imagine there is a certain point that
So,
you said, okay, now I want to go in that direction. What was the cause of that?
yeah. So I'm basically an engineer. I passed out in 2012 from a good engineering college in India, and I was looking for a job opportunity. Then I started working as an engineer. But somewhere that drive was there to get into politics, and become a change agent. I was reading all the articles and news, and India was also going through a certain phase. There were issues of corruption. A whole lot of things was going around.
Now we're talking. You
Yes.
face corruption. I
Yeah.
heard you say you face poverty,
Poverty,
inequality,
yes.
not being heard from your state.
Yes.
How did it affect your family and your surroundings?
I mean, family. What families look like, they want their children to be happy and whatever they are doing. So my parents were teachers. They were happy that my son has become an engineer. Now he will find a good job and he has opportunity to go into some big short company in US or somewhere in this part of the world. So I had all kind of opportunities, but then I took my own decision, uh, having an introspection of my own life, my own journey where I'm coming
What was
from.
that introspection? Because I'm curious, I want to know. Because the reason why I ask you this, because it is, oh my goodness, what's she asking? I can see your face. Oh boy, it's all right. I want to dive into that. I'll give you the perspective why I asked you this. What I'm doing to set up your profile, how you can express yourself. And if people don't know your inner motivation and your pivotal moment when you realize now it's enough, I can be an engineer, but now, hey, I'm doing this. If they understand that drive, you capture their heart. So that's why I dive into to this pivotal moment when you say, okay, no, my introspection was, and when I want to see that journey, what happened with the introspection and why.
So I took some amount of time, like 4 or 5 months in my life. In 2013, I was reading books, discovering all sort of things, reading books, reading my religious textbook, what Bhagavad Gita is saying, what Ved and Quran, the religious texts, they were so impactful and so meaningful. Then I thought, what is the purpose of life? So all these are big questions. I am not able to even clear this at this point of time also. But obviously, while introspecting in 2013 as a 24, 25-year-old kid, so I was able to figure out that no, I'm not going to stick into engineering. I will take a leap into politics or policy sector, whereby I am able to make change, whereby my work is getting recognized, whereby I can see that work which I have done, it is bringing smiles into millions of faces. So
Ah,
that was the point
that's
in
nice.
2013. Yeah.
That's really good. Really good. Really good. So I want to fast forward again. If you are chosen, what would you do? What actions will show from you? That's,
Chosen.
yeah, if you're chosen as a politician.
So that's a good question. Why I am seeing myself as a politician? There are politicians right now in my own country who are there, and why I want to become a change agent or a politician myself in future, because I see politicians in my country or whatever little I've seen, they are doing good work. Okay, so they are trying to bring certain solution. Okay, but they are not being uh, proactive in certain areas. They are also driven by some selfish rule, party politics or self politics or regional politics, whatever issues are there. But I want to see youth like me, getting into parliament, bringing those innovative ideas. So, like I have an engineering background. Just think what kind of innovative ideas I can bring. Obviously, there are many engineers in Indian Parliament that I can't deny. So representing my own region and bringing innovative solution, innovative politics, a politics of meaningful change, a politics where I can raise the voices who do not have that opportunity to be heard in the Indian politics. So uh, all these things come under my view of politics. What I will do in future if given that chance.
Perfect. I will say something Dutch to you.
Okay, sure.
You already chose a path from engineering into politics. And I can see you're very humble that if it's possible, you will do it. But I also know if you set your goal and you're willing to go fully to it, I can see the potential in you. You make it happen. Don't wait for the outside to approve you. I'm giving here a seed of your own voice so you can be recognized for who you are. Is it helpful for you if I give you a little bit of a sum up how you occur to me based on those 4 questions?
Definitely. That would open my
How
mind.
do I pronounce your surname, your first name? Well,
Abhishek. Abhishek.
Abhishek. Abhishek.
Yes. Yeah.
There we go, my dear.
Thank you.
So, as a child, from your area where you come from, you saw really the poverty and also some corruption. And although you were really lucky to have a good education in engineering, you came to a point that you thought, okay, now it's time to see what I can contribute. And I know personally, if you have an engineering background, it's not only engineering the engine, it's also engineering life, it's engineering other structures. So you can become the engineer of conscious politics. So I would love to put that in your tagline on LinkedIn. I'm Abhishek. I'm the engineer of conscious politics. And why is that? Because I want to take a stand. I want to step up for things that aren't working. The engine is blocking in politics. So now I've been for a while as an advisor for people in politics. And now I know it's time to step up. And if I'm chosen as a politician, I really want to make the field of politics in my home country work. So people can listen to each other. They get a broader perspective. They go beyond their ego and are willing to serve the country as a politician should do. It's not based on ego. It's not money driven. It's what you can do for your country. Because if we all can take a conscious step in politics in India, we all can become a champion. There you are.
Definitely, definitely. Thank
Do
you.
you recognize yourself if I do this around you?
Sure, I'm in total resonance with whatever you have said till now.
Good.
Thank
Good.
you.
So I'm going to reveal what I've been doing so far in this whole process with 4 questions.
Sure.
Because those 4 questions have a reason. And it's good for you to know before I dive into also coaching Anjit and Christina. Because no matter where you are in the world, you have 4 different types of people in your audience. There are 4 different areas how people receive your information. You will find people in your audience who wants to know, why should I listen to you? So if you answer the why they should listen to you, you will get it. They will get you. Then there is a group who really want facts, figures. They want to know what exactly is the matter. So if you can sum up that, for example, you've been since your 13th interested in politics because or you graduated for your engineering, that are really nice facts. So the what exactly people, you can calm their brain so they know what about you. So that are the what people. And then there are people who just roll off their sleeve and they just want to see action. So how do I do it? That's what they want to know. So if you give in your presentation or pitch or whatever a space where you can share a practical thing, a story, why, how do you get into politics, stuff like that. You say, oh yeah, oh that's why, okay, yeah, I can see how he does it. So that's helpful if you have the very active people also with you. And then there's a very, very select group. And if you're familiar with presentations, you will find them instantly because they would always ask a question before you're ready. And they will phrase it, yes, but what if? I call them the what ifers. You will recognize, yes, but what if? Because they know why, they know what you mean. They see, okay, they are really conceptual, just thinking ahead. Okay, yes, but what if I do this? Yes, but what if? They see a future perspective. So if you can calm their brain down, you have all different 4 areas with you, and you will influence all of them. I didn't make this up. This is Bernice McCarthy, who figured out the formula, and it's all based on this. So in whatever I do, I would frame, okay, why am I here on this call for conscious politics? Well, I'm passionate about politics because politics found me. I would love to have people with me. I can really help to provide them with a voice so they can create their impact. So that's why I'm here. And what am I going to do? Well, I'm going to do a coaching on the spot. You get a bit of perspective who I am, and then I will take all 3 of you through a process, and if you are open to receive some coaching, you will get the best out of it. How I'm going to do it? Well, I have 4 questions. I will ask you to just answer 4 questions, and I coach you on the spot. And if you do this all, you can increase your impact in whatever you do, whether that's in politics, whether it's in pitching for a job, whether it's whatever you do. If you are able to really frame yourself in your wording so people can get you, you can have the most impact in the world. So that's why you have me. So by the end of this session, you will all have something, what I did with Abhijit, just to make it work. And that's why I'm here for you. So that was my why, what, how, it is. Just in framing what I'm going to do today with you. So for you, Abhijit, any questions so far?
Whenever you are making a communication, so you have pointed out there are people, what-ifers. So can you just cite an example? So how do we try to persuade them or convince them about?
I love that you say that. Just pretend you have your dictionary with you. I want you to cross out persuasion and convicting. I don't want to hear it any longer because it's old stuff. I want to just reframe it with inspiration, not motivation, inspiration. Because
Sure.
if you want to convince someone, they can be convinced by something else. If you persuade them to a certain point, they can persuade to other points. If you inspire them, you reach them in the heart, not in the brain. And it's really difficult. If you really feel right with something and you inspire them with what they feel as right, to persuade them to the other side. From the heart, it's really, really difficult. And that's why I just encourage you to inspire instead of convince or persuade.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And by the way, I tell this to the big names in the Dutch politics as well. I don't withhold anything because they all want to persuade others. I say, if you want to work with me, cross it out your dictionary. I don't want to hear it any longer. And the big names, they don't like that so much.
Yes,
Until they see the difference in impact. Because if you try to persuade, the trust on the other side of the receiver isn't that high. With inspiration, you create trust and a relationship. So that's the difference.
So
yeah?
One more question. So,
if you have 5, it's even fine. Great, we have time.
yeah.
Go ahead.
So one question, sir. You have worked with politicians, so you have helped them with the communication.
Yep.
So what is the most effective way to communicate in politics then?
Well, if the people work with me, I'm standing for authentic, clear, and effective. If it isn't authentic, clear, and effective, I don't even come out of my bed, no matter how much they pay me. And by the way, I'm expensive. So if they're not willing to be their authentic self and to create a clear and effective communication, I send them to someone else. I also ask them, are you willing to go beyond your own ego? I think 1 out of 3, maybe 2 out of 3 say, no, I'm not going to work with you then. It's a toughie. But at ZIVs, it really is a zip to my clients who really dare to step up, to be authentic. So I work with mayors a lot. And for example, for their New Year's speech or opening of the year speech. And I never searched and they found me. So I do mistake of, are you willing to let go of your ego? Are you willing to be at service for the field of politics? If it's all yes, okay, then I'll work with you. So then we start looking, okay, why are you going to have a speech anyhow? Well, I have to give a New Year's speech and that's tradition. So no, that's not what I asked. Why do you want to give a New Year's speech? Well, I want to reach my citizens. I really want to give another sound. I want bonding in our community. La, la, la. Okay, that's your why. So why don't we start your speech with why you are here speaking? And that's not its tradition, because the New Year's speech is, hey, I want to do something different this year. I really want to reach out to you because I think our community together can do more. Ah, do I dare to say something like that? Well, if you work with me, you are. It's a pity it's in Dutch, otherwise we'll show you some examples. But I really encourage them to show their authentic self. So I don't know how it is in your country, but if they speak here in the Netherlands, they have this awful, awful lectern in between them and the audience, particularly the politicians. One of my demands, I don't say request, I will just say you have to, take out the lectern and be fully visible, the whole you. So your speaking postures up straight, you really show from here, from the sternum, the full spectrum of you. No hiding, authentic, clear and effective. The mayor of my hometown, she had a lovely dress. And oh, by the way, I don't allow them to have speaker notes. I want them to speak from the heart. So no, yeah, I really like to be here with the community because the connection with you is really important too. You know, it's not going to work. So no speaker note at all. And she was wearing a lovely, lovely dress with this petticoat thing. You know, so really. And then she bent it over. You know what happens if you bend over with a petticoat? You have a full view what's underneath. Towards the audience. So be aware what you do, and don't share your underwear to your audience if you're just reaching out for a glass of water. It's not really helpful. But anyhow, that's a side thing of being. It was at least authentic. Okay, it wasn't really effective. So I want you to be fully visible if you work with me, and show the real you. So if I work with my people, I would say you have to be 100% effective. So I draw with the circle. And do you know from being 100% effective, how much the percentage of words are in that 100%? How much importance is there in words? Do you know any wild guess? Just give it a shot.
No. Can you repeat that? By being 100% effective?
So if you are 100% effective, how much of percentages are there words of importance there? So is that 50% words? How much of that whole pie is just being 100% is words?
I mean, if you're making an effective communication, I think 30-40% of the whole speech can be reduced.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I can shock you. It's only 10%, and sometimes they say even 7%. But I like round numbers. So 10% of your effectiveness is only words. Then you have 90% left. What is it? What else? There are two other areas that are important and need to be congruent with your words. Any wild guess? What is it? No. Andres, no. Christina, do you know?
How you look?
Not really.
Not like how you look, but your presentation, your image.
Yeah, and what is your image built up from?
The expression, maybe.
Can I give you a little hint?
Yeah.
70% is body language.
Body language.
The body speaks so loud, I can hardly hear a word you say. Before you even open your mouth as a speaker, you start communicating. So if I'd been, okay, there's another mentoring, Andrea's not there, okay, I've been just in a 2.5 hour really difficult mentor session before, yeah, oh yeah, Yeah, nice. Anything to share? Any questions? Well, would you stick out 90 minutes with me? I don't think so. And I won't even blame you. So the body speaks so loud, I can hardly hear what you're saying. And the other is 20% is how you use your voice. So 10% is words, 20% is how you express yourself with your voice, and 70% is body language. So it's a lot. And just imagine how much time people spend on their PowerPoint. They have 90% to increase their impact. Because the PowerPoint and words is only 10%. So how you say it and how you're standing, that's why I want them 100% visible, not with a lectern. Otherwise, you only see a talking head behind the lectern. You're not optimizing your body language.
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
I have a question, Nienke. So you say, what do you mean when you say that 20% is how you use your voice? I mean, what do you
example?
Yeah, like does it have to be a speedy voice or a very slow voice? You know, what do you mean?
How you use your voice. So, for example, if you just envision just 100% like Luca wrote down, just 100%. If I have great words and I have a great body posture, if I'm just talking like this, or I'm just very, very speedy, and it's very important what I say, because I'm a bit shy, and or just being very monotone, because I can do some meditation calls as well, and as long as you have your tonality really flat, you can just bring people to sleep. That's how you use your voice. And I will go into the technique how to engage people with your voice, and what you see me doing all the time. I will just highlight what I'm doing, so you can learn from that. So how the tonality, the speeding, but also how you emphasize words is important. I will give you that technique in a bit before we leave this session.
Sure, sure. Thank you.
Body language is also very important. I can't demonstrate a lot from just behind the Zoom, but what I can tell you, if you have your shoulders round, just sit up and just bend your shoulders a bit. Yeah, just as we do now, just round your shoulders and hang on a bit like this. Now, try to speak energetically.
What manner?
If you're really bending down and have your shoulders around, you will feel down.
Yeah.
And if you then are in front of an audience and you want to engage them, you have a tough job, I can tell you. If you're standing up straight with I will fill your whole spine with you. So stand up straight. And just as you now, tap with your fingers on your sternum. So that's the bone between your ribs. Can you just sit up and tap with your fingers on, as I ask now? Just sit up straight. And Jace as well, just sit up straight and tap your fingers on your sternum. Yes, that's energetically better. Yeah, and just unmute yourself, all of you. Yeah, lovely. I don't need much of sound, but just say and start tapping. I want to hear you. Can you feel a vibration if you make sound? Just on the other side of the sternum. Can you feel something doing that? Might be a bit higher. Yes. Can you feel something?
Sure.
Yeah. All right.
Now energy is high.
If you start speaking, you need to have attention on that area, because that your breathing from the belly, from the lungs, will go out there as an arc. There. So you give your voice and tonality away. If you are bended over and very low energy, it's hard to, it's like an old man peeing, it's not really that strong. You really have to show up as the whole you, and have the attention on your sternum. Just remember that. It's really helping for your voice. So, and then of course, the whole body language, stand up straight, hands out of pockets, particularly men, hands out of pockets. I will tell you once more, hands out of pockets, because you need your hands to support your voice. And dear Christina, but also Luca, if you are there, I don't know if you like high heels, but you know, women have the tendency to have flexible hips. So what happened with flexible hips? Flop to one side. It's very tiring. So what happened? What do we do? Flop, flop to the other side. The signal you give with the body language is an S shape. Just be in front of the mirror and check, men and women, check yourself. If you're leaning on one leg, and for the men, usually it happens together with hands in pockets. Women usually don't have hands in pockets, but they will lean on one hip. You make an S shape. And if you say, I really stand straight for my message in an S shape, you're not congruent with your tonality, your words, and your body language. Be aware how you're standing. So it's all there. I was wondering, I wrote my book, The Speak Success Solution. Would it be a help for you if I send you an e-copy?
Definitely.
You can find it all. All right, so you
Definitely.
don't have to order it expensively on Amazon. I will just send it as a bonus for this session, right?
Thank you so
much. Thanks.
You're welcome. So you can find it all with also pictures, and they even made a little drawn figure out of me with other glasses. You can find it all. Also the why, what, how, what, if, and about the body language and tonality with exercises, so you can dive into it. There are links in the book, but I don't know if they're all working because the book is ready for having a redo. So if it isn't all working, just go into the content. All right. I want to go to the second one. Who wants to be coached on the message you want to give to the world? Andrej, are you ready?
Yes, I am ready.
So sit up straight, good energy.
Okay.
Why are you in politics?
All right. Okay, now you ask me in the way which I should answer in the different way that I was at the beginning.
Doesn't matter. I want to real you.
All right. So I think I am in the politics just because I feel the responsibility. I feel the need to raise the voice for others who doesn't really have this feeling they need. And I do, and I think I've been doing this from the very beginning, since I was a kid, in fact, you know, that I was trying to raise the voice for others who didn't really had that, either the will to say something, either the need to say something, or either they were just simply, they didn't feel like empowered to do that, right?
So why was that?
Why was that? Well, I don't know. Maybe it's just, I think it was coming more from my inner need. So it was my, let's say, selfish, but that was some kind of my need.
It's not selfish.
Yeah.
If you feel the urge to express yourself and help others to express themselves because you're gifted with a voice, that's not selfish. But you have to experience that.
So it was more actually about like I had this inner need to do that, right? So it was more like it was kind of feeling like, you know, when you have a feeling like your room or your kitchen is dirty and you just need to clean it up, and when someone else say like, what are you talking about, why are you so stressed about that, it's totally fine. And I had the same situation quite often with the within my society, within my groups, within my people, like people I've been surrounded with. So
where are you from?
I'm from Poland.
Ah.
Yeah, so in fact that would be one of the reasons. Do I call myself politician? I do not identify as a politician. I rather identify myself as an activist. So I'm rather I'm rather working with the NGOs, with the civil society organizations and the individuals. I've been working with the politicians in the past, but being very fact, I rather consider politicians like professional politicians or whoever is sitting in the politics as a parliament members. Most of these people, I think they are very intelligent, but they are also very much ego-driven and also very opportunistic, I would say. So this is kind of in a clash with my vision on the politics, in fact,
okay,
right? So,
now I get you. Hang on, I want to reframe something for you. So you are an activist to clean up the politics to get a real result how politics should be. If the politics would work with integrity, beyond ego, at service for the citizens, would you be in politics?
I definitely think so. That would be way better position or way better space for me. And I would find myself better in this, in fact. Yeah. So I've been working with politicians. We've been providing some services and support to the politicians from Moldova, from Tunisia. And I've been working with the Club de Madrid. And over there, I could see how ego is huge around the former politicians, especially. Someone who been high-level politician and later on, they are still used to be mentors, to be engaged, but then you realize like they are not mentoring, rather they wanted to express themselves. So this is also something where I would like not to see anymore. This is something where I would see as a change. But from the other hand, like I am quite pragmatic, and I also know that being politician is a way more effective, or being like, let's say, being related to the political existing and influential political parties, where it's way more effective than being, let's say, engaged in the NGO, for instance. Like I believe that they have politicians from the parliament, of course, they have way more influence on the decision-making processes in the country, or they are actually able to change our reality, while at least in Eastern Europe, the NGOs is still like a voice, a consciousness, but not necessarily we are effective to bring the real change. So usually there is a need of some kind of alliance between politicians and NGOs at some point. And I probably would see rather myself in such a position, because this is another thing. I have quite a few colleagues already who are in the parliament, or right now, for instance, they are running to the European Parliament, and they have, let's say, totally different kind of character than I have. You know, I sometimes wouldn't be able to be so flexible as they are in the thoughts they have. Sometimes I wouldn't be able to say whatever they are able to say, or sometimes I wouldn't be able even to discuss with others. So let's say, put myself in the clash, or in kind of, I just thinking about the word in English for that, let's say in opposition to the other thoughts, because I also believe that the other people have a fully right to think what they think. So for instance, I'm considering myself as a rather liberal or a social minded person, but for instance, there is a group of people who have a conservative views, and I feeling they have a rights, but so I would have a problems even to counter, you know, their thoughts on this open discussion, just because, yeah, you're absolutely right. You have a right, and I have a right, and then at some point I would lose the field for that to them, you know.
Yeah, and is it bringing you anything if you just stay from the perspective, you have an opinion and you have the right for opinion, and I have an opinion and I have a right for opinion? Does it move you forward?
But that's the point. Like that is not really moving you anywhere at some point, you know, because either someone else will take the, let's say, the advantage of that, and they will create the space for their, let's say, agenda rather than mine, or or there will be, let's say, this kind of status quo, which we will not go anywhere, in fact, right? So that would be my what I'm aiming for, and why I'm in politics. So I don't really have a huge political ambitions of being, I don't know, prime minister or even MP or anything like that.
Current field, at least.
But this is more like I feel quite a big responsibility for the society, in fact, right? So, and I know that politics is a tool to achieve to deliver the impact, to achieve some impact, to change something.
Yeah.
And being very frank, how did I get into the politics?
Or activism.
On activism. So I've been active from the very beginning, as I mentioned. Like I wanted to deliver a change. I wanted to do something new, and I've been quite often picking up this role when no one else wanted to move this one step forward from the line. But recently, I think even recently, I am more engaged just because I do not agree with what is happening in my country, right? I especially in the point of let's say, when we speak about the ideology. So it's not even about the economical issues. It's not about governmental issues, but it's more about where the country, as a society, we are moving in, and where the ruling politicians are leading us. And why are they leading us? Just because they won the elections. How they won the elections? In the fully right way. So at some point they convinced.
Like Brexit, isn't it? It's like Brexit.
Exactly, yeah. So they convince the people actually to vote for them. But I cannot. There is no my agreement for that, So I'm trying to do my actions to prevent that, to show the other way. Like, hey, this is not the right path. Right.
Yeah, and just to reframe the last question, because if you're not aiming to be chosen, I would reframe your what if. What if you can bring your influence as an activist, as Andrej, just to create a change? How would it look like?
In that case, I probably would say the diplomacy would be the solution, like getting more into the diplomatic movements and the diplomatic efforts of the politicians. So being related with other groups of influence and trying to negotiate and trying to try to deal with all of them and try to convince or push. Push is not a nice word in English, but
convince was just skipped out of your dictionary, so
yes,
that's out of it. So what would you say? What would you say?
Like influence the other groups in order to go in the direction which I believe it's right.
And what's the right direction? How does the world look like if the right direction is there?
Respect.
How would society would look like if the real change is there?
Respect and real open dialogue, but not aggressive one, rather the rhetorical one, and also considering after the dialogue having some reconciliation and the thoughts about the other side, which I think we are missing. We don't really have this. If we stick to our own values or our own business, or the politicians, like they will die for it, but they will not have any reflections on the other side.
Yeah. Yeah. Shall I wrap up your story?
Sorry?
Shall I wrap up your story, what I heard around you in your 4 questions? I've been listening to you, so I will just do the same as I do with Abhishek. What did I hear from you? Are you ready?
Yes, I am. I'm absolutely ready for that and curious.
From a very young age onwards, you felt inside you needed to raise your voice. Raise your voice, particularly in the fields where others were not heard. To step up for the ones who weren't seen. So, if life continues, you ended up being an activist. An activist who just shows another way how we can treat each other in society. And if it was up to you, we start listening to each other. We start with diplomacy, not just because we have to listen to each other, but to create together a future what will work for society, where the values as such as respect, compassion, and moving together forward are really shared together. So if it's up to you, you will wake up the world as an activist to make that work for society. And politics can be transformed that way. Maybe from the NGOs, maybe from the activists. We have to set example. So the people who get voted for parliament are going to be different.
Really like it. Thank you.
Okay. Thank God for recording. You will find it. You will find it. I was just searching for a book. I'm involved with a very powerful lady. You might know her. Her name is Sila Elworthy. Where do I get it? Sila Elworthy. She wrote a book, The Business Plan for Peace. Sila Elworthy is nominated 3 times for the Nobel Peace Prize for her efforts in diplomacy around nuclear war weapons. She traveled the world. She's a really extraordinary woman. I worked live with her last December in London, and I have monthly calls with her in a group, what is there for Business Plan for Peace. And she shows in this book, and it's quite affordable and really readable, examples how it's far more profitable to be in peace than to be at war in all different areas. She, in her group, has a real good technique of being really receptive for someone else's voice and just to turn it around into togetherness. And she calls it listening from the balcony. And that's what she does in pieces where there is a lot of conflict. So she has been in Colombia, she has been in Israel, all difficult parts in the world. And listening from the balcony is just stepping outside of the heat of the conversation. And just with a helicopter perspective, see what's really going on. And from there, naming out loud what you see. So I see that you respond with emotion. So don't say you are cross, no. I see in this conversation you respond with emotion. Can you express why? And from there, you will get, oh yes, but all emotions will come out. But just expressing what you see from a distance and attach it from your personal interpretation. Take it off. She has a whole bunch of exercises in that book, what she has proven all around the world. And it's worth giving a try. It's really worth giving a try in another set of listening, another way of just conversation techniques within politics or activism. Doesn't really matter where you are. Just also in normal dialogue, how you can just shift from your own interpretation to really listening, as I always say, with clean filters, and see what's really there, and start naming out loud what you see and acknowledge what you see, and start checking. There is another great book, Anatomy of Peace, really worth taking a look at if you haven't read it. Well, I only have it in Dutch. It's from, I will type in you can see anatomy, just guess, and peace here is vrede. Is
Okay.
You can type it in for you.
yes, I will. I'll put it in there. So it's really worth just giving that a shot in reading. And another great book from Sila Elworthy is pioneering possible.
I love that one.
That's she just creates a world that works. She's one of the founding elders, together with Tutu and Mandela, and she's one of the founding elders. And I had the honor somewhere in the beginning, no, at the end of last year, to be on a call with her, and we did a exercise in listening to each other. And she had 2 questions. And it's worth for yourself, if you like the reflection. What breaks your heart? Luca, can you type again? What breaks your heart? In my case, it breaks my heart if people don't understand each other and they really can't listen to each other. They're blocked and they can't reach each other. So it breaks my heart if people don't communicate on a level of connection with each other. Second question is, what's your talent? My talent is, by the way, just giving voice to the world, providing people with a voice. And I'm pretty good at writing educational programs. So what am I doing? Writing a peace dialogue training. So if you look at your areas, what breaks your heart? And combine it with an engineering talent, or with an activist talent, or a listening talent, and start rebuilding your world from there. There's only one guarantee. Nothing will happen if you do nothing. So no matter what my little voice is shouting at me, who do you think you are? You can develop a peace dialogue training for still Alberti. I was really, no, who do you think you are? But I raised my hand, said, okay, I will do it. And I was reached out by Silla, and she said, Nienke, I fully trust you. You can do it. You don't need more education because, I need education, I need more. No. I see you working. I know what you can do. Just do it. Keep me informed. Keep me posted. That was the only response. What do? If Stella already said to you, Nienke, I trust you. No. So I started. Not by myself, in collaboration. Because I believe from collaboration we can reach so much more. And that's why I'm so happy here in the Academy of Conscious Politics. Because what I also hear, I'm just saying, is people don't listen to each other. They act from ego. In the world of conscious politics, we listen to one another and we collaborate. And we are able to say what's necessary from a listening position. So if you start expressing that, give voice to what you feel inside is necessary to say, with respect, with compassion and consciousness, how do you think the world would look like if we just build a huge academy with people who are ready to carry that out as signal, whether you're in India or Poland, or whether you're in Brazil or Colombia? How would the world look like? I'm willing to step up together here with a group and make it work. I won't only one guarantee. If I don't do anything, nothing will happen from my side. So, more. Andres, do you have any more questions around what I summed up around your sharing?
I don't think I have a question. It was actually, thank you very much for this conversation, because I think it was very inspiring and very, very enlightening, I would say. So thanks for it. I don't really have a question. I'm following the whole conversation, and Abhishek, what you were talking with Abhishek, it was also very, very, very good. Very interesting for me.
I love it. This is my passion, as you can see.
Yes.
And it's not because I want to show how good I am. No, I want you to grab your true essence and start speaking authentically and effective in whatever needs to be said. And I want to consider, as for the both of you have been sharing, I know from Anjet's, your country has been suppressed for a long time, and speaking up wasn't the safest thing to do. It's only the new generation who have a bit more freedom of expression. I work with people from Poland quite a bit, particularly with the people immigrated from Poland to the Netherlands. I work with Polish leadership women, whatever group. And just being in front of a large group with an opinion, they freeze. As somewhere deep down rooted, you shouldn't speak up because it isn't safe. So what I did with working with them is creating safety to express themselves first and get out to all layers of unfreedom to speak. Because if you carry around for your ancestors for a very long time, nothing will change. It's knowing your country, and the same for you, Abhishek. Just speaking up. We're not all Mahatma Gandhis, you know. So it's just speaking up, particularly if you're not in the area where it's normal to speak up. It can be a tough cookie, and then it kicks in. Who do you think you are? You know, it's all these little things come up to you. So I'm so pleased two of you step up and raise your voice for who you are, not because you want to be heard as, hey, look at me, big Ibu speaking. No, both of you didn't. It's okay, what can I do for my country? And how can I be the change agent in a way that works? If we don't start expressing, it would be really hard. And you're letting others down. But if it's your talent, and it breaks your heart, if it doesn't work, there you go. You go. Yeah? Christina, are you ready?
So, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Perfect.
I can hear you. So, there we go. There we go. There we go. There we go. Why are you? What you doing? Why are you doing what you're doing? Where are you?
Well, I did my homework. I set up for the computer and I wrote it down. I'm not allowed to read. I understand that. But
I'm not that tough. You're not in front of a large crowd, and you're not a mayor. So
okay,
whatever's necessary, you do.
Well, by the question why I'm in politics, I wrote very factly. I just said because I got a talent to organize people, to gather trust somehow, I don't know why, and to assume the role of leadership. So that was my answer. I didn't get deeper emotionally or reflective in that way.
It's totally fine. But if I relate it to what breaks your heart, and what's your talent? You described already your talent, but what breaks your heart?
Injustice, but not in a theoretical way. But it's like I walk through to the street and I see a poor child asking for money, and that is for me injustice, because it should not be like that, and he should have another opportunities to live well, you know. Or I don't know, men who are clutching their women or anything.
Yeah,
I guess I can just say injustice.
So it breaks your heart if you see injustice in society.
Yes.
And what's your talent?
Actually writing. Actually writing and
raising your voice in writing. You know, for me, it's voice is everywhere. So whether I do an audiobook, whether I speak on seminars, whether I do something live or here on Zoom or write my fourth book, it's giving voice. It's just what is your favorite vehicle? If it's blogging or whatever, everything is there. Oh, it's okay. Writing is good.
Yeah.
So your why is because you feel a calling to be a vehicle through writing to battle injustice. Something like that. Take it lightly. It's there. It's not stick. It's not written in stone. It's just I'm searching for your why, your deeper why. So you can't stand injustice anyhow. So that's the main thing. You're acting.
Yeah.
Good. So what are you aiming for?
Actually, what I want is just to create a structure in Bolivia, in the world, where people can be free to develop themselves. You know what I mean? For me, I don't know, like something ideology. I would like to everyone has just an money for the month. It doesn't matter what you do, but just a basic money, so you are secure to grow as you want, to be really free. You know, just an idea, and
Equality
I don't know,
in
education,
lifestyle.
health. Yeah,
Good.
yeah. And I'm not talking about no one has to be rich, not that way, or no business, or something.
It's
A
equal
ground
chance.
security, you know. Yeah.
Equal chance of ground security.
Yeah.
Right. No, I totally get you. Totally get you. So how do this world of fighting for this or making it work? How do you get here?
Well, actually, I guess it's a little bit of everything. It's a little bit family history, I guess.
Such as?
Should I tell a little bit about it?
I want a bit of
It's
background.
like
Yeah,
very
yeah.
short. Like Bolivia was in this Operación Condor in Latin America from these right-wing politicians, and there was a dictatorship in Bolivia for almost 30 years. And the brothers from my mother, my uncles, they went in the guerrilla to fight for freedom for Bolivia from the dictatorship that on that time, and it ended bad. As well as the Che Guevara, maybe you know him, and all my family had to go away from Bolivia. So when the dictatorship went away, I was born 83, you know, and all my generation, we grew up in an anti-political way. I mean, politic was something black, something bad, and no one even make an opinion about it. It was just dictatorship is gone, and we live, everyone is happy about it, and it's enough.
Yeah, if you are forced in a very ugly way for a long time, if it's gone, it's just your expression of freedom that you don't want to be even engaged or even thinking about it, because it has been so in the face. If you're liberated, you don't want to see anything any longer from it. Is that true?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Totally. And that's what's the ground of my education. What's on the one side, this justice and taking care of everyone, and to be a hero. You know, my uncles, they were heroes in the country, and but the other side, don't mix, don't go in. You know, just stay away from it because it's dangerous. So, and that's how the economical problems made this first indigenous president to go up in power, Morales. I also voted for him in 2005, and everything went wrong now. Everything is just 13 years later, everything is wrong. Corruption, narcotráfico, drug, cocaine, everything is really, really wrong. And we thought we could take him away democratically, but then he made some tricks. I don't want to explain it deeper, but he made some tricks, and so he's going to be elected again in October this year. So when that happened, I said for myself that it is enough. It is enough. I'm afraid, because I know what happened to my family. I'm afraid we are in the same situation. I'm away, but my family is in there, my friends are in there, and it's everything coming again. And I just said to me, I have to do something, and I called just for one demonstration, posted in Facebook and said, who is Bolivian, is in somewhere outside from the country, we want to go to the streets and just say stop. And I don't know, that was the way I now in the middle of the whole movement. And as I said, I don't know why, but everybody trusts me. Nobody does anything if they don't ask me, if they didn't have talked to me first. And well, here I am, a little bit scared about it, but it's like I cannot leave it anyway. It's too much responsibility on my shoulders to say, yeah, stop.
Do you remember the call I led on What Your Soul Told You?
Yeah. Yeah.
Book from Richard Barrett, What My Soul Told Me. It's not the easiest one to read, but it's if you feel that inner drive, what from the two guys I heard as well, it's what your soul's whispering to you, whatever you call it. But it's that inner drive you can't shut up. And if you don't listen to it, you really become inside miserable. That's what your soul told you to do. So there you are. So what if your movement you're starting is paying off? How would the world look like?
Oh. I guess love and equality for everyone. Because but my movement is me in some way, because there are a couple of other movements in the country, and they are all concentrated in these elections and 21 of February, and Bolivia said no, and it's like very democracy, but I could not handle with that, and I started to go in farther, and that's how we started helping indigenous people and studying about the thematic, how can we change things. And women asked for our help also, and please help us, you have to take away what is going on in Bolivia, please help us. And it's like I'm always hearing this, Christina, you have to save us. And
well, you can't save all.
No.
You can do raise your voice.
Yeah.
That's the difference. So what I hear from you, that from your family background, your uncles really stepped up and sacrificed their life for justice.
Yeah.
And for a long time after that, it didn't work. And even though you were born in a time that there might have been hope for change, after 13 years, you realize it's not going to work. And the current system isn't working. But you feel deep inside you have a talent, or at least a drive, to step up and to raise your voice for equality and equal chances for everybody in society to develop freely, have your own voice, and just have the freedom to educate yourself for in whatever field is necessary. It would be really helpful if there was a financial basic around it. But it starts feeling equal and having equal chances for development. And there you are, Christina. You've been abroad and now stepping up for your own country, reaching out by writing and raising your voice and joining all kind of educations to provide you to be stable and strong to make it work. For now and the future families, you don't have to live in fear any longer.
Thank you.
Something like that?
Yeah.
Okay,
Definitely.
I want to share one more thing. It's a dear old classmate of mine who is really stepping up for modern slavery, so human trafficking. It's really a bad thing. And I've been with her in an education program for 9. Then you think if you work on a weekly basis, you know each other quite well. But as soon as you record a video and to become visible, she froze. She freaked out, even to the physical state of migraines and whatever. And then we had a conversation. And then after 9 months, she shared for the first time that her father was shot by stepping up for political reasons. And she felt the inner drive to step up to modern slavery. But at the same time, she has 2 kids, and she doesn't want to be shot and have her kids having the same suffering as she did when her father was shot. And still, she's unstoppable because now she surrounds herself with the ones who can really make a circle to make it happen together, because she isn't a solo person stepping up. And even her new company, she left a company where she was working on this payroll job, and now she's stepping up in her organization called Stepping Up. Now she's fulfilling her soul's purpose, and she's surrounded with people worldwide who get her. And now, finally, she's free to express her true voice. So she is transforming her past and creating a new future. And it's not always easy if stepping up for change has been really sacrificed by death in the family. I really get that. But it's more fulfilling your purpose here on this earth in this time if you do step up and reach out and hold hands for the ones you can trust and build your own surrounding you can trust. So I applaud you all 3, for stepping up and speaking up for who you are and changing the not easy environment in your home country. You know, I'm from the Netherlands, where I can't even count how many splintered parties we have. And not getting a lot of conflict. But at least we come from a sort of safe background with 1 minor terrorist attack. That was all. And the whole country was in shock. So for you stepping up and sharing your true voice for what's necessary, whether you're an advisor, an activist, or a written voice, if you know what breaks your heart and you have to do what you have to do, hold each other's hands like you are here in the Academy of Conscious Politics. And never ever stop. You might find another way of expression. Please, conscious politics needs you now more than ever. Because if we are wealthy in some parts of the world, and there's so much injustice, we need people like you. And that's why I'm mentoring here, by paying back to the future community who can make it happen. You are all very important to me. That's why I'm here. And if I can just provide you with a slice of another voice, at least I have seeded something. And what my biggest joy is that you reach out to me and just see what's necessary. I would love to create a couple of sentences together with you that express who you are in this world, whether it's in activism or advisory or step, it doesn't matter. But your biggest why you're doing what you're doing, and why you're here in the Academy of Conscious Politics, is the reason you're stepping up for something. So start expressing that in, well, let's say at the most 8 sentences. What you can post on your LinkedIn, what you can start verbalizing as the true you stepping up for who you are and what you want to bring to the world. It's my biggest joy to work with you. Just send me that text on a paper, just email me or ask Andrea to email me. Oh, you have my email now, by the way. It's there on the top of the the top of the chat. Email me, and I will look at your text so you can express yourself for who you are. Why are you doing what you're doing? What is it you're doing? How does it look like? And what if you succeed? That's all you need. Start expressing it. So people start recognizing you as the authentic you. And you know, when I started, I posted my own first video in speaking authentically and effective. I got an anonymous feedback on YouTube. Hey, mother bitch, who do you think you are speaking English? All right. I took it as a compliment. Because mother bitch, okay, I can be mother bitch. At least I reach that person and read something. And no matter what, allergic button or whatever, I don't care. And you know, there's a delete on YouTube, so that comment didn't exist anymore. And it didn't stop me. So whenever you feel in this journey, also here in the Academy program, you ever feel your little voice chatting at you, oh, I don't know why, I better stop. Have each other, have your mentors, and be unstoppable. Be unreasonable, unstoppable for what you're standing for. Because I've seen here 3 awesome, very important people standing up for equality, justice, and just being fair with each other and with the values of shared responsibilities and shared outcomes. I'm not a priest, but I would say amen. There you are. Any questions? Because we have 6 minutes left. Andrea, do you want to add something?
Yes, I would be just curious, like maybe about one sentence or word that people are taking away from this amazing session, because it was brilliant and you really conducted it amazingly. And I felt touched at many moments as I was listening to you, and also now when I'm also on the camera, especially when you mentioned our dear friend, who also I knew from slavery and stopping the slavery in the world. And also when you were working with Christina, it was amazing. So my question would be only, what are the takeaways people take from this session? But this might be also yours. So
Well, yeah, I'm just curious. As, what are you taking away and what can I do for you? 2 questions.
Okay. All right. So first of all, thanks for this session. I definitely, I really enjoy it, and I think I can take away quite a lot of from it. Thanks for the titles of the books, and this is something was definitely I will explore. Thank you for this framing short summary of myself. There was so it's to be honest, it's quite often difficult really to like I have difficulties with expressing myself and the reason and the purpose. So that was actually very very useful. So I definitely, if you allow me, I'm going to get back to this recording and I'm going to
yes, please do.
Take a few words out of it, because I'm definitely going to use that in being very frank, even if some, I am consultant as well. So even with some consultancy applications or something like that, you know, that's going to be for my personal marketing. I mean, this is something which
yeah, this can be personal branding as well. I do this as a lot of personal branding as well, but just out of framing.
So definitely. Just one digression. I mean, one thoughts I have. Of course, we've been hearing like we're coming all from difficult backgrounds. I mean, I still feel like the world is not as bad as we think. I think it's actually better. And then I do believe that we are still living in a better place than our grandparents or grandparents were living, which is actually a good thing. And we are progressing because the whole trend is like that. I think this consciousness and the idea of people are changing. Maybe right now we are also observing like a backwards of some moods and some let's say
I agree.
The ways we do the politics,
yeah,
exactly, the creating new way. But this is also like a little bit like in economics, I would say. So sometimes we have a slower way, like a smaller ways on going, you know, the backwards of some of the trends. I think I'm quite optimistic about that, to be honest. But of course we do have to do the work.
Yeah. You know, if we don't do anything, nothing will happen anyhow. So, so thank you. Thank you. And just send you the material to me. And I will look at whether it's that for a consultative perspective or a political aspect. I don't mind, as long as you become effective with impact. That's it.
Perfect. Thank you.
The others, have a check.
Still, I'm in the awe of your session. Whatever you have said and whatever you have taught us, it's very important. And listening to my friends Christina and Andres was equally, something which I learned about them. Yesterday we were talking to each other, and now we have altogether a different perspective of each other. And thanks, Lucia, for joining in, and Jia too. Obviously, I'm going to mail you and trouble you with more questions.
Yes, please do. Make my day.
Definitely.
And connect. The only thing is, if I offered the same thing to the previous group, and only one person sent something to me.
Okay.
So
but
it's your own responsibility. I'm not going to drag you. I'm here for you. If the most important thing is only 5% of the people often take real action. So
definitely.
85%.
But I will try to trouble you more and more.
Yeah, trouble me without trouble.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your session.
Thank
Wonderful.
you. And Christina, finally at your session with me.
I found it grounding. I don't know if it's right in English. It was very grounding. Thank you very much for the whole speech and the confidence also with the group. This is great. What I need from you, I have been struggling as I was in Brazil the whole time. What should I talk about in my forum in Barcelona? And I already got a thematic, and the title is Bolivian Identity Kit. It's the mathematics about identity. So I want to talk a little bit of social psychology and propose a solution for our diversity problem. It's not a problem, but in Bolivia they do from this a problem. So I want to talk about that, and I would like to send it to you also.
Perfect.
Beside my day synthesis about me.
What I would encourage you just to look if you have answered in your speech for Spain, the why, what, frame.
Yeah.
Because that's most important. Did I send you this 2 pages of how to create a 10-minute TED talk or TEDx style talk?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So use that. That's the why, what, how, what if is there in as well.
Okay.
So, just match and measure, and then you can just fit it in and make it work.
Okay.
I promise you one thing what I didn't cover, and I just give myself 1 more minute. Have you ever been reading out loud books to small kids? Just raise your hands in. If not, grab someone from the street, inform the parents you do so. Because if you can read a book out loud and engage a small kid, then you use the right techniques for engaging an audience. So what you hear me doing is emphasizing every word that matters. So what you see is I highlight every word of importance, and I create a rhythm by that. So if you have a written text, every word that matters just highlighted with a marker, and that word get more breadth. So you really emphasize that word a bit more. In the book, I call it punch and stretch word. So a punch word is really giving a big emphasis on usually number. Like, do you realize 100,000 people here only in the Netherlands are neglected by blah, then you get a rhythm. So you emphasize that really with a punch. And if you want to describe a situation, you really stretch on the vowels. So imagine you have the speech of your life. You can see all the vowels are stretched, and you can see in your mind's eye a picture. So if you want to shake them up, you have a punch word. And if you want to have a picture, you use a stretch word. It's also in the book. And I demonstrated on the link. That link is working because I recorded it myself. Just, I apologize for the very old studio I recorded, but 4 years ago, I didn't have the equipment I have now. So everything is there. Reach out to me. Anything you want to wrap up, Andrea and Lubka? It's to honor the time. Lubka, you've been there from the beginning, so anything you want to emphasize?
Well, just few words. I'm really, inspired and taken away by what all of you shared and the stand you have, everyone in your area, and also Nienke, you, what you shared. And I'm really grateful I could be here today with you because, I get a lot of energy from you and this feeling that together we can really, shift this world in a better direction. So for me, it's gratefulness and also being grounded, as Christine said. So thank you all for being so active and playing big and be able to get coached, because it's not sometimes usual, and you just get a little bit out of your comfort zone today, and I hope it was really really great also for you as it was for me.
Thank you. I loved it. Andrea?
Just there's a surprise because Nienke has also some materials for you to be sent after the session. So after this session, I will send the ones that you shared with me before the last cycle. So I can share them if you allow me, the ebook.
Yeah, I promised them the ebook.
Okay, so I will share with you. So, and there is just what thank you, like guys, working with Nienke is a privilege in my life. Not only in academy, it's in my life. And I think without Lubka, many things wouldn't be possible. Without Nienke also. And it's great that this community is such coherent, has authenticity and integrity together, and we support each other. And I feel we are so much privileged to be part of this, because it's really feeling a part of you all. So thank you for amazing reception that you showed to Nienke, and Nienke for amazing being with us and session.
You're very welcome. You're very welcome. Please do link with me on LinkedIn if you haven't done so far, so you can follow everything. I will always accept you if you are there. If you haven't linked with me on Facebook, please do, so you can see all my silly journeys, whatever I do. No, it's not silly. I'm up to something big. So just stay in touch. It's really a privilege for me to be with you and stay in touch. I'm looking forward to the material.
Definitely. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Have a great day. Follow the rest of your days left, and see each other in the community.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.